So I want to, as a reporter myself, I want to report more on that positive thing, those positive things, and to look at what people are actually doing and not what this picture that's being painted elsewhere about what's happening. So I see a lot of optimism, but I also see a lot of people just moving ahead and getting on with it and ignoring the outside noises that are taking place. My name is Roger Mackenzie. I'm the international editor of the Morning Star newspaper, and my job is the international editor for the Star, and I'm from Britain.
Welcome to Xinjiang, China. May I ask, is this your first time in Xinjiang?
It's my first time in Xinjiang. It's not my first time to China. I was in China in April, where we did a tour of some other cities, and it's my first time in this beautiful region.
What are your first impressions of Xinjiang?
Oh, it's very beautiful, and I see a lot of positiveness and a lot of excitement really about the future, and that's really great to see.
How does Xinjiang differ from what you had imagined before?
I'm not sure I did have a particular view before. I think I've learned as a journalist not to prejudge what you see and just to take things as they are. So what I've seen, as I've said, is something that's very beautiful, very positive, but also very modern. And I think one of the great things that I've noticed so far is the mix of the traditional and the mix of the modern, and some very, very modern buildings. I mean, the building that we're in now is just outstanding. I've never really seen anything quite like this. So the mix of the old and the new, I think, is a really good balance that I think a lot of places in the world could learn from.
You just attended the opening ceremony of the 8th China Eurasia Expo. What do you think of the expo?
Oh, it's outstanding. It's been going, this is the 8th year. We've just heard the opening remarks for the expo, and one of the words that I got from that was cooperation and mutual development, and I think those are important words. And one of the other things that was talked about was people-to-people contacts. And I think if we're ever to get around this kind of negative nonsense that people talk about pretty well anywhere in the world, then the way of doing that, I think the Chinese government is doing exactly the right thing in promoting people-to-people contact. I think when that happens, people break through this nonsense and start to see for themselves what the truth of the matter really is. And for me, that's the important thing now. And I think the whole thing about the Belt and Road Initiative and opening up to the West, I think, is really important. And people don't get that detail in Britain. They get a kind of distorted international picture about China and trade and things. And basically, if it doesn't conform to what Britain and the United States want to happen, then it's considered to be wrong. What I've heard this morning already is how there's countries here who are just getting on with it. The Eurasian nations are just wanting to cooperate together to build a new world, and to have that new world built on the basis of mutual cooperation, and importantly, I think, non-interference in what anybody else is doing. And for me, that's exciting. So I want to, as a reporter myself, I want to report more on that positive thing, those positive things, and to look at what people are actually doing and not what this picture that's being painted elsewhere about what's happening. So I see a lot of optimism, but I also see a lot of people just moving ahead and getting on with it and ignoring the outside noises that are taking place.
In your view, what opportunities does the Expo provide for promoting economic cooperation and trade ties among countries?
I think the whole basis, and you don't get this with every Expo, it's the mutual cooperation. What is unique, I think, about this Expo, in my experience, is the way that people are really serious about wanting to work together. So for me, one of the biggest benefits that we're going to get from an Expo like this is that people actually look serious to me about wanting to work together. That's going to benefit business. It's going to make sure that there's more money created, but it's going to mostly it's going to benefit people. People are going to see the benefits of that economic cooperation. People are going to see that in the way that their daily lives are developed, the infrastructure of the place, the economic the information superhighways that are being developed and so on as a key part of that mutual cooperation. So I think I always come back to thinking that the people who are going to benefit the most from this are all of the communities of Xinjiang, all of the communities, not part of it, but all of it. Everybody is going to benefit from it.
What do you think of the efforts made by the Chinese government in promoting economic development and the opening up of Xinjiang?
I think it's the absolutely right thing to do. I think it's perfect. I think one of the things as well that I took from the opening comments here, which I kind of remembered from my last visit to China, was the way that they prioritise, again, people-to-people contact, but also the well-being of the people here. So it's not just about money and about kind of making massive profits as it is in the West, but it's also about how you can make sure people feel good, how you can make sure people feel as though this is something that they're benefiting from, and there's not just the benefit of somebody else outside, some companies who are making loads of money and are feeling good. But for me, that is really important, that people locally feel that they're getting some benefit from it, and it's not being done to them, but it's something that they can take part in. And so I think that's really exciting too.
In your opinion, what are the advantages of Xinjiang's characteristic enterprises or resources?
I think the biggest benefit for everybody in looking at what they can do with Xinjiang is this is the centre of Asia, the geographical centre of a massive continent. And you look at the people that are around, you look at the potential that are around, you look at the enterprises that are being developed. If anybody's stupid enough not to want to take part in that, then that is really something that is crazy. So I think the geographical nature of the place, that the potential, the energy of the place is something that really should be kind of participated in by not just Britain, but I think the rest, I think Europe as well. And I think some of the US companies really need to start questioning their governments about the attitude that they're taking towards Eurasia, and not see it as a competition for who can have the biggest influence, which is what they seem to want to do, but to look at how they can cooperate.
Have you seen any Xinjiang-related reports in UK?
Only negative things, which is why I wanted to come here and see for myself, because I think a lot of people who make these negative comments about, well, frankly, they make negative comments about a lot of places on the planet without ever having been there and seen for themselves. I really wanted to come and experience it for myself. I'm fortunate enough to be able to come, and what I've seen so far is just really positive and really exciting.
Are these reports consistent with what you have seen and heard in Xinjiang?
No. Xinjiang is it's a beautiful place. Don't think anybody ever quarrelled that it was a beautiful place, but in terms of the people, it's not the portrayal that is being made outside by any stretch of the imagination. What I see is a region that is prospering, that is the centre of something really exciting.
You said you're a journalist, so what will you cover in your reports about Xinjiang?
I will cover the truth. I will say this is what I've seen in Xinjiang. I've seen a lot of people with a lot of can-do, a lot of energy, a lot of positiveness about now and the future, but also people wanting to work together in this mutual respect and cooperation. And I think for me that's going to be the main thing that I'll write.
And my last question is, what are your expectations for the rest of your trip to Xinjiang?
I'm just going to enjoy it, have a good time, learn a lot, I hope, meet a lot of new people, and I think that's the main thing for me, is if I can meet lots of people and share my experiences as a journalist who covers international affairs, and I really want to listen to a lot of the experiences here and relay that back to the people who read the Morning Star, so that they understand the energy that's taking place here.